Welcome to the Save Point. It's good to have you here. How did you stumble upon this video this time? Through the channel, or did you just see this beautiful thumbnail and thought, how intriguing, I'm going to click on it? Well, welcome to the Save Point, welcome back, or welcome for the first time. This is just a place to relax, to have a good time. Just no expectations. It's not going to be the most produced content ever. It's actually pretty much not produced. I mean, I produce it. I can work on the green screen and try to make it sound decent at least. But I don't have anything planned or prepared. I'm just going to hang out, talk a bit, pick my nose, you know, that kind of thing. No. Something that I noticed in the past save points was I might have turned on the gain of my microphone a bit too high. So I tried this time to put it a bit lower, so it doesn't sound as sharp, should we say. But we'll see how that's going to sound this time. But how are you doing? How was your day? And have you been playing some video games lately? Maybe you have. If so, what games have you been playing, or what TV show have you been watching? I never watch TV. I don't really play games these days. I'm just too busy. On my Nintendo Switch, a bit here and there. But since I studied Save Point, not really. I still have to get into the flow of doing my house chores, work, family, and getting some time to relax, per se. But today I thought there's an item that's in my shelf I didn't use in a while. I just want to take a quick look at it with you. And that is this right here. Well, you don't see what it is, but do you have any idea what this device is? Well, I'll give you a clue. It's from Nintendo. It has something to do with 3D. Now, what could this be? What could this device be? Well, you most likely got it correct. This is a Nintendo 3DS. A Nintendo 3DS. Now, that's something you probably did not see in a while. I think, didn't it come out in 2011? Like 14 years ago? That's a long time. Someone born in 2011 would be 14 by now. Now that's something to make you feel old, if you're a millennial like me. Though by now they're probably not playing with such devices, but playing the Fortnites and the Roblox and the Minecrafts. But, okay, I need to say something. Minecraft, I have a lot of love for Minecraft. But not the Microsoft version. Now Minecraft, as we all know, the alpha I think came out in 2009. That's a long time ago, even 2 years older than the 3DS. But when I started playing Minecraft, I was in middle school, and the beta came out, Minecraft beta. Now it was still an independent game, not too many people heard of it. It was not mainstream by any chance. It was a small community. I mean, it was popular among the indie scene. But what a world it was. What an adventure. For me, a child, a preteen. it was endless possibilities. Now I just got so lost in these worlds. Created houses, adventure maps. I really enjoyed the adventure maps, kind of like a pre-made one, with objectives, beautiful buildings. But I was a bit scared of it. But that's the version of Minecraft that I have a lot of fondness for. Now, when Microsoft bought it, and I fell out of Minecraft then. I don't really want to play this modern version. There's a lot in it that I do not enjoy. That are not Minecraft for me. There's the systems, the vibe of the game is just different. I like the beta Minecraft. That's why if I play Minecraft, I play with one of these modes that work on the betas to take it in a different direction, something that sticks closer to its original vision. That was a tangent, wasn't it? Yeah, that was a tangent. I remember having a cactus farm at one point. Oh, that was nice. But the 3DS. Now, the 3DS. What did I do with the 3DS? Exactly. Well, this was my Monster Hunter machine. Now, Monster Hunter by now is a very popular franchise in the West. It was always popular in Japan, especially with the portable titles on PSP. And that's why I started my adventure with Monster Hunter on PSP with Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, a game that has a dear place in my heart. I replayed it entirely a few years ago by myself. It was difficult, but I somehow succeeded. I somehow did it. The thing is, in 2015, I got the new 3DS for Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Now before that, I had a normal 3DS. Not this one, this is a new 3DS. I played Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on the old 3DS. Now you used to have a very, like if I have a 3DS like this, you had an enormous add-on for it that you could hold to have a second joystick. On this one there's already a knob here in the corner to have a second joystick. But I'll say that I played a lot of Monster Hunter on this. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate was and is my favorite 3DS game. Now it's a shame because the Nintendo 3DS it's useless. I mean, it's not useless, but they discontinued the online service, so if you have DLC and all this, well, that goes down the drain, really. You can't, I think for the Monster Hunters, you can't download the DLC anymore. But it's a neat little console. I assume if you hack it, you can turn it into quite a little nifty machine. But I don't feel like hacking it. If I want to play emulation, I have my computer for that. Of course, legal emulation. Of course. I'm a good citizen. I'm not a pirate. Yar. But the 3DS. Now, what do I think of the 3DS? Well, I like its body. I like how it feels. how it looks. I like the clamshell design that you open it. Now, there's less chances for the screens to get scratched. And I like that it's portable. But there's a few things that I don't like about it. The screens. I do not like the screens of the 3DS. Why? Well, it's fairly simple. They are very low resolution. And that's because they had to go that low resolution, 240p. 240p screens. This is absurdly low. For the main gimmick of that console, the 3D, there's the 3 slider here that goes up and down. I was never a fan of the gimmick of the 3D. Like, sure, it's really cool that somehow this can trick your brain into looking at 3D images, 3D games, without needing special glasses. But that's just a problem there. It's a gimmick. No game really made big use of it. It was cute. But it also tanked your frame rate by half when you activated the feature. At least on Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Because you went from going to 60 FPS, which was really, really cool, to something like 30 FPS with the 3D on. And that's because it rendered the screen, the game twice, right? 2 pictures, one for each eye. So I was never a fan of that feature. Plus it wasn't that comfortable, I think. But oh well. It was a nifty little machine. Second thing that I don't like about the 3DS, it hurts my hands. Now that might be because I got older. But it's really not comfortable to hold for me. Like, I have no problem with that little flat joystick. I understand why it's like this. But the numbstick here, it's not a joystick that you can move like this one here. You can't go up and down diagonally in a circle. You just press a direction like a button, really. But it's not really a button. There's no feedback. It doesn't move. It's sensitive to touch. It's not the best. I would have much preferred a tiny joystick. Very much so, actually. But you might notice, actually, this does not look like the typical 3DS knob. Well, there's a reason for that. I ripped it out. Because, apparently, and that's a strange twist of fate, if you just rip it out, which is quite easy to do, you can just take a PSP stick from the first model of PSP, or you can just get one and you can just pop it on there and it will fit perfectly, and it will give you a much better sensitivity or usefulness out of that little knob in the corner. I had to do this because for some of 3DS, probably a large amount, the knob had difficulties registering input in some directions. If I'm not wrong, in my case, it was right or down. One of the two. Putting a PSP joystick on that kind of solved the issue a bit by putting more leverage, right? It's a thicker knob here. But I won't lie to you, I still have some nostalgia for this, some appreciation. I think it's funny because you can see this corner here. The paint here is completely gone. Now why is it gone? Well, it's because when I was holding my 3DS, yeah, my finger was resting at the top here because I was holding it. And this part kept rubbing. You can see it quite well from here. It kept rubbing. And now it's gone. So you're looking at it, there's barely a scratch. I don't think there's even a scratch on that screen. Like, it's dirty for sure because it has not been cleaned, but I don't see any scratch. But the 3DS, it had a very nice library of games. Like that, the remake of Ocarina of Time. I think this is a great game, a must-have for the system. They did such a good job with that remake. Though the Majora's Mask 1, I would say it's a less good offering. Because for some fucking reasons, they just decided that the players were dumb. And dummified it quite a bit, apparently. Because I got a friend who's a huge fan of Majora's Mask on the Nintendo 64. And he quite despises this 3DS remake. He was really excited. But some of the changes just kind of insulting. Which kind of proves that sometimes things are just a lightning in a bottle. And they happen in spite of its creator. And when said creator comes back to it, they can mess it up a tiny bit, maybe. Now, I've played with the 3DS a lot. I've played with the PlayStation Vita a bit too, but way less, because it was already way past its release that I got one. And I did not play many games on it. I think I played Soul Sacrifice on it. Soul Sacrifice Delta. Oh, that was a nifty little game. Bit Monster Hunter-like, but with wizards and demons and folklore. That was an interesting game. Still stuck to the PlayStation Vita, I think. Now, that's why I don't like Nintendo too much. It's kind of like the disrespect they have for their library. The 3DS has such good games on it, and sure, there would be some difficulties emulating it. Or not really, because we've got some good 3DS emulations these days. I mean, I've got Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate on my PC now. It looks beautiful, with HD textures, if I want to play it, which I wish I did have the time to play it, but not so much. I can even play online. But they don't bring the 3DS back in any way. I mean, it was pretty insulting is they recently announced the Virtual Boy for their catalog of old games that people can play if they buy the $100 plastic replication of the Virtual Boy. But you know what the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 can do? Something that they showcased with the Wii U gamepad. Instead of having it horizontally, they can flip it vertically, and suddenly you have on the Nintendo Switch 2 a vertical space with a good size. You could have a good size of screen on the two halves of the Nintendo Switch 2. That would be a decent solution since the screen is also tactile. But why would they do that? Why would they? Or maybe they will, and they will sell you another add-on. Maybe. But the thing is, like, I played so much the 3DS that I noticed that one of the buttons, like these shoulder buttons, they feel less responsive. Oh yeah, especially the A button here. The A button on this side is completely, no, not completely, but it feels a lot more mushy than the others. I guess I didn't really play too many 3DS games. I didn't even play Mario 3D Land on there. It really was the Monster Hunter machine. Now, what I find interesting about this device is that it has online capability. The thing is, like, I barely played online on that thing. Now, I played a bit of Monster Hunter online, but soon after their servers shut down, so then there's no online anymore. Oh well. And I actually stupidly deleted my save file. That was at the end game, which takes the longest time to get to. That was unfortunate. But yeah, 3DS, nifty little console, underpowered as fuck, gimmicky, unergonomic, but relatively cheap, to be honest. Like, they released like the 2DS that just removed the gimmick. Like, how bad is your gimmick when you actually make a device to remove it? The new 2DS, the new 2DS XL, I think that was the last one that came out before they stopped production. And that's the new 3DS XL in blue. There was in black too. I don't know if there were other colors in Europe. Maybe there were. No, that's funny. Like, the stylus is just falling out of there. I don't know what I did to it. It's tiny stylus. Just tap on there. It's falling out. But it was a nifty console, all things considered. I'm looking. Yeah, there was a USB like a jack port on there too. To plug your earphones. To if you want to use the internet browser for things. I heard people did that actually. Which surprises the heck out of me. I never thought about doing that. But again, that's not something I discovered by the time I played with that thing. Oh well, hardly matters now. You could take photos in 3D too. I remember my brother took a lot of pictures of himself with his 3DS. Maybe because that was the only camera he had. Or he wanted to see how he looked in 3D. Better than a mirror, probably, huh? A mirror can't do 3D. This somehow reminds me of the DSi and its picture editing light capabilities. Could change someone's shot color and all that. And that's pretty cool, actually. Interesting device, the DSi. I can't believe I was such a little shit. I begged my mom to buy me one. But yeah, 3DS. That was a nice console. All things considered, despite all of its flaws. And now I frankly prefer the Nintendo Switch. Though I wouldn't have minded if they had released, if the Nintendo Switch 2 had 2 screens again. Then they really would have had no excuse to not do 3DS simulation. I wish that would have been the case. No, I kind of wish. I kind of wish that I had one of these new handhelds that come out that are really expensive but that do 2 screens, but probably at higher resolution than 240p. I think there's something by Ambernick or something. Oh well, there's lots of these emulation devices, Android devices. That would be the ultimate emulation console then. You can just take it out and play your PlayStation 1 or PSP to 3DS games. Oh god, actually no, I want one of these. Fuck. Maybe I'll get a Steam Deck in the future. Once I'm rich and famous. But for now I will play with my Nintendo Switch. Which I like the Nintendo Switch. I don't like that it's such a closed hardware. Which is why I would be attracted to these Android hardwares. Because you could like crack them wide open, you know? Install whatever apps you would like on them. Now that would be so fucking amazing. Now my phone, sure it can do these things, but it's fucked up. The screen is shattered. Cracks all over the place. I don't want to look at that while I play the game. Besides, I'm not a phone gamer, it also kills my hands. I tried Genshin Impact. Pretty cool. I think I got some powerful characters actually, due to sheer luck. But it would kill my hands. Didn't play much. Oh well. Thank God I've been saved from the gacha grapes by pain. No. It's time to go to bed. I have lots to do tomorrow, and you as well, probably. It's Monday. So, your progress is saved. Congratulations. Rest well, and see you at the next save point, alright? You take care. Cheers.